Hey guys, so today we have a little bit of a show and tell. We're going to share some of the vintage that we found on our recent little road trip, our trip out to help family, to visit family out in Washington. And we ended up, because this wasn't like just a full-on relaxing vacation, we were going out there. Mr. Pish Posh and my sons were helping with some repair and remodel to his grandmother's place. And so because it was kind of like a working trip, we went ahead, we thrifted on the way. We didn't have a ton of space, but we thrifted on the way. I thrifted a little bit while I was back in the town we used to live in. And then we thrifted a little bit on the way home too. So again, we didn't have a ton of space. So fortunately we didn't come home with like gobs and gobs of things, but we did come home with some things. There was a few things too that we got from my husband's grandmother because of the remodel, the repairs that needed to be done. They had to clean out a room, and so we ended up with some fun things from there too. But anyway, I wanted to just start off talking about the sewing patterns that I found. So I'm going to put up a picture because I didn't feel like bringing them down to my basement to show you, and I've already kind of started getting some of those listed. So they're kind of like spread out a little bit, but here's a picture of, I think, most of the patterns that I got on our trip. And so there was a few of them, I think, that were from like thrift stores like Value Village or something. And I paid a little bit more than I normally do, and we'll have to take the stickers off. But my favorites are, a lot of the other ones were in like small town thrift stores. And they were just, I went up to the counter and said, how much are your patterns? And they said 25 cents a piece. And I said, okay, perfect. And then I bought a bunch. So you can see I got quite a substantial pile. My favorite place, I'm going to put up footage here or here, I don't know. It's a thrift store that I've been to one other time before in Idaho. And it's for like a pet rescue. So a good cause, one of my favorite kinds of thrift stores. And it has a lot of everything, right? So the flatware and utensil section is super long, and then the patterns, there's just bins and bins of patterns to go through. Now, most of the patterns were cut. They were a little bit messy. I ended up with about 28 patterns from that store. And one of my favorites that I just wanted to share with you is this one. I found one of these in all that big bin, so it was worth digging. And this is a McCall's. It's 3760. It's called Country Rabbits. And it generally sells for me between $35. I had sold one that was cut but complete for like 27 or something like that. But it was interesting because I was researching this one again. It's been a little while since I had listed and sold one. This one's uncut. We've talked about this in my sewing pattern videos, but it was uncut, hasn't been used. I was actually researching and checking eBay to see if the prices on Etsy that I had been getting were that much better than on eBay. And it's a pretty sought after pattern. So there were comps there like for $40 or $45 with free shipping. So I decided, I can up my price a little bit on this. So I think I listed this at either $39 or $40 over on Etsy. There is another one listed, I think, at that price, and maybe one a little bit lower or something. And so we'll see. It's never like an immediate sale, but it will sell. It will sell eventually. Okay, let's just go into some of my other hard goods and things like that. Flatware. Stay tuned for Flatware Friday. I'm going to talk about all the flatware and utensils I found in a separate video. So let's just talk about some of the hard goods. And this is in no particular order. I didn't keep track of which store, which state, anything like that. If there's anything noteworthy about it, I'll mention. This one was a Goodwill. And this, isn't it fun? This, I guess, is a magazine holder. I mean, I could see you could use it for like kindling or something like that too. Google Lens was just saying magazine holder. but it's got a paint by number design on it. And then the one on the back is a little bit different. But I'm assuming this was like a paint by number kit that you could do, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't researched it a ton. I paid $6 for that. And this was in my favorite Goodwill back in Washington because I always forget how big it is when I go in there. But anyway, so I didn't get a ton of stuff there, but I did pick this one up. So I just thought this was probably the largest thing that was not belonging to a family member that I brought home from a thrift store. Same thrift store, I think. This is new to me for coffee mugs. It's called it says Duluth Grill on it. And on the bottom, it says, I think it just says Duluth Pottery. Anyway, so I just kind of liked, I just liked the look of it. And so I did a quick search. And the mugs were selling for like $25. And so I thought that was pretty good. So I went up, it didn't have a sticker. And I was like, oh great, they're not gonna sell it to me. So I went up and asked and they said it was, I don't know, he charged me $2 or something like that. So that's fine. But I found another one. So I'll show that to you in a minute. I don't know why there were two in Washington, but I recognized it right away the second time. And so I grabbed it. Okay, some little thrift store. Let's see. This was another Goodwill. This was just a fun little thing. I wish these were Rubbermaid. They're not. I haven't even comped them yet. So throughout this video, if I have any good comps, I'm going to pop them up on the screen as I'm talking. But some things, I might not be able to find the exact comp for. But this was 99 cents. They're little appliques that you put like in your bathroom. And Rubbermaid ones can sell pretty well. And so I just thought I would just try this out. So I wonder if it was the same source that, this is kind of reminds me of like a dollar store kind of thing, 5 and dime. So same thing, this little towel ring, this chrome towel ring came from a similar type store possibly, but new old stock, has this suction cup. I just thought it was kind of cool looking. So again, 99 cents. And that thrift store, I picked up this rag rug canvas and needle kit. And I think the one on here is this one, which is kind of the reason I picked it up. It was this design. It's the distal finken, kind of folk art kind of look. So I decided to try that one. That one actually was $2.99. And then this is Heritage Collection Counted Cross Stitch, but it's Elsa Williams, also $2.99, and it's irises, I believe. So, yeah, I don't know if it has a name, something about iris on it. Iris Mosaic is what it's called. I didn't comp it either. Those things are so easy to list that I generally do not. There is a corkscrew in here, and I'm assuming Mr. Pish Posh picked that one up because I've never seen it before. Okay, so now there's some glassware. Yes, we did bring some breakables home. And these, I'm not sure. You guys can help me decide. You guys don't know whether I should do it or not. But anyway, I got this glassware. This was out of Value Village. And we don't have Value Village here in Montana. Or at least we don't have it anywhere near me. And so, or Savers, you guys maybe know it as, it goes by a few different names. But I got this set of glasses. Here's one. It's got green trees. I love anything with my trees on it. And so I've got that tree, the green one, spring, I think it is. Then we've got summer. And then we've got fall. So the only one I'm missing is winter. And it was just the three. The Value Village did one price for the three. So it was $4.49 for three of them. So anyway, my dilemma is, do I buy myself the winter one and keep them? Or do I just like list them individually as replacements for other people? I do have like glassware like this to use for personal use, so I don't know if I necessarily need them. The maker is House, H-O-U-Z-E. House, I think it is. Anyway, so we'll see. Okay, I picked up a couple of clocks. I'm going to try to go through this a little faster. Otherwise, we're going to be here all day. That's utensils. I can share that another time. I got this cool little vintage alarm clock kind of thing. It's $3.99. I asked Mr. Pishposh, I'm like, should we bother? Do we want to test it? What should we do? And so he recently had sold, you know, we've picked up clocks at the bins, at the clearance store and stuff like that. So he recently put together a lot, and I think I talked about it in a What Sold video. He had put together a lot, and some of them were not working, some were working, some had cosmetic issues and things like that. And he sold the lot, I think, of 7 clocks for like $50. And so he's like, just grab it, you know, chances are it'll work. And if it doesn't, then, you know, we'll just throw it in a lot and move it to someone who wants to fix it. We do generally try to see if the, you know, if things are moving, if the knobs are turning and things like that at the thrift store. Here's the other one I found. This was kind of cool. I've never really seen this style before. So this is what this travel or this alarm clock looks like. It is personalized with someone's initials. It's got these cool birds, but you just fold down the front. And I love this light over here. Anyway, I think these are both GE. This one's GE for sure. What did I say that one was? Yeah, that one's GE as well. So they were at the same thrift store. I just thought that was really cool. And looking at comps on eBay might not be like it's super great, but we usually have historically done pretty well with our clocks on Etsy. So I knew I have that kind of as, even if it's $20 or something like that, I knew I kind of had that as a backup as long as they're working. I don't think I got a ton of jewelry on this trip, but I did get this watch for $8. If you look at this design, okay, it kind of caught my eye. The watch is on the padlock. Okay, so when I looked at the brand, oh, see, now I'm not going to be able to see it. Futura, that's what it was. It was Futura or something like that. So, and you can tell like the band is kind of chintzy and it's like very 80s. And so I looked it up and I was like, oh my goodness, people had sold this Futura watch for like $75 or $100 or whatever. And I was like, are you serious? So it turns out, I don't know designer type stuff, but Hermes does a watch that looks like this. Most of you probably already know that. I am not in that world at all, so I have no clue. Anyway, so it's not really a knockoff. It's like in the sense that they're claiming to be Hermes and they're just faking it, right? It's just a different brand that just decided to do a similar style watch. And so people will pay for it. And it is kind of cool looking. So we'll see what we get for that. That just kind of cracked me up. Okay, here's the other one. As you can see, it's actually a different style. Duluth grill. So different flowers, leaves or whatever on them. Okay, sorry about my head coming down, but anyway. Other piece of pottery we've got here. And Google Lens told me this was, now I'm gonna have to remember, Brush Weller, is that right? Brush McCoy, Brush Pottery, something like that. But they had like these ears it used as a description on it. But I just love the glaze on this. So it's kind of a, do I keep it, do I not keep it kind of dilemma as well. I paid $3.99 for this. And there's not really any markings or anything on the bottom, but Google Lens matched it up pretty good. So anyway, I'll do more research. I'll see what the actual like selling prices are on that and see if that's even worth doing. Okay, here's a fun little thing. Look at this brass horse head. And guess what he's on? He has a hook for hanging and he is a shoehorn. So I couldn't resist that. That was $5 at a Goodwill. on our trip. And I don't know, I think I can list it for like 35 to 40 is what I'm gonna go for. That's my goal for that. I think that's cool. Let's see what else. Okay, so this might kind of go into the, no, we won't call this utensils. These are salt and pepper shakers. But look at the color. Aren't they cool? They're like an acrylic. And I think they're just, yeah, they're old Thompson, but very colorful. And they were in a baggie. And that was $4.99 for that bag. And orange possibly was a color. See, I was back in the land where Goodwill has certain color tags, either half off or on the complete markdown. Was it half off? No. Yeah, half off. So it's hard to keep track anymore because I'm never in thrift stores that do that, hardly ever. So, okay, so it's possible that was discounted a little bit. This was, I think, the same thrift, no, different Goodwill, but I picked up this really cool looking candle holder. It still has a tag on the bottom. So it told me it was made by Itala and it's called Napula. And there's people asking, I don't know if there's necessarily anything in solds, but they're asking like $40 for one. So I don't know that it's not super vintage. I have to figure out the age of that, but I just figured I'd pop it up there, see what I could get for it. But I can't resist Italo when I see it. Okay, there was a really fun, I found some really good things at this one thrift store. It was just kind of fun. And we had taken a minute to go out to the beach, to go out to the coast because the guys had worked so hard and it was hot and it was smoky and they worked so hard for that week. So while we were that close to the ocean, we decided to like drive out there and spend a day or day and a half or so. And so we did get out there. I was excited about that. And I did mention that in a community post here on YouTube. So you might have seen it already. But one of the thrift stores down here, some of the prices were a little high, but I did pick up this little cloisonne vase. I thought it was a good size. A lot of the things that I pick up like this are like miniature. I had sold some miniature ones before. So I might have some other pieces even if I lot things up. But otherwise, I think I can even just list this by itself. And, you know, $5 into 25, or we'll shoot for something like that. Okay, those are not very, oh, this is a good one. I found, same place I got that magazine, paint by number magazine thingy or whatever it is, I found this belt buckle. And check out this design. That's gonna be my thumbnail. Hold on. Okay, so you got to kill two birds with one stone. My time is limited. Okay, anyway, check out that belt buckle. So I'm going to pull that out of the way, as you can see. It is by Bergamot or Bergamo, whatever you want to say. It's like from, it says 1979, possibly. Bergamo Brassworks, made in the USA. And then just a number, like a catalog number kind of thing. But a little nudie lady with the man on the moon. So it was $5.99, I believe. And I saw it and I was like, oh, anything, as you guys know, anything celestial right now, but just man on the moon in general, I think always does well. And of course, nudie ladies always do well too. So, maybe I should do my thumbnail like this. Do you think I'll get in trouble by YouTube? Okay, so that is what I found. And comps are like $75 to $100 on that one too. So I was excited when I found that. That was a good find. The same thrift store with the little cloisonne vase. Mr. Pishposh, this was kind of funny. He like holds up this little bear to me and he goes, isn't that cool? And I'm like, that's Dansk. And he's like, really? And so it was like $5. And then if you peel it away, it does say Dansk underneath. But anyway, they have these little silver plated animals. and there's a line of them. And so they sell okay. And I think I have a cat one for my own little cat collection. But I couldn't leave him at the ocean. He had to come home with me. Okay, I also found at that same thrift store, this is so exciting. So exciting. Okay, hold on. It's all wrapped up because it's breakable. It is another piece of fire and light. See that? Okay, so I don't know if I talked about it in a video with you guys or if I just talked about it on Facebook, but I had found a fire and light bowl, same color, at my clearance store, right? And I got a message from, right after I listed it, I got a message from a lady who said, oh, that's gotta be like, they were a fire and light expert. And they were like, that's probably a factory second because of the unevenness of the rim around the bowl. So it hasn't sold yet. Someone offered me something kind of low and I countered, but they didn't want it. It wasn't the same lady that I know of. And so we'll see. I might have to drop my price on that one, but this one, and that one is not signed. So fire and light, if you don't know, it's something to look out for. It's recycled glass. And so this one is marked fire and light right here. So that was like super exciting. But it's a company from California and it was recycled glass. You know, they make things out of recycled glass. It's kind of reminds me of the whole glassy baby thing. So I think there's designs that get retired, possibly colors that get retired. Now it's also possible, and I think when I had this in daylight, one of their purple glass things is called, what do you call that when it like changes color? So it's like neodymium or something like that. Anyway, you can correct me in the comments, but when you put it out in daylight, it'll maybe look light blue and then purple inside, you know, things like that. So I think this is a piece that's like that. So very exciting. It was signed. I looked all over the store. There was only the one. I think it came in a set of like graduated three designs, but it was $3.99. But it's just exciting. It's kind of like finding a glassy baby. It was like fire, light, away. So I have found a couple pieces within a short span. So who knows, maybe I'm due to find another one, or maybe, you know, at least I'm still finding them when people still kind of want them. Sometimes I find things after the craze is over. All right, this is just one little thing that I pulled out of my husband's grandmother's things. There was books she was getting rid of, but I just thought that was too cute. This is old-fashioned molasses goodies, and it's Brer Rabbit molasses, and it's just a little cookbook, but I just thought that cover was just too adorable, so I kind of pocketed that one. I also got this is back at the thrift store at the ocean. I got this little cast iron bowl hook. You can hang it on the wall and you can hook stuff on it. What would you hang on it? I would say belts or something like that. I don't know. You could hang lots of different things on it. And let's see. Goodwill. We're back to a Goodwill. I got this little vases, this style where the opening is so small. They call them weed pots. And this one I thought was interesting. It says Omori Stoneware, but it was the Westwood Import Company, 1970 something, San Francisco. Okay, so it's like a made in Japan. So the only other one I could find was on Worth Point, and it doesn't look like this at all. It's not the pinch. The glaze is totally different, but it did have this sticker. And so I only found one. I don't know what the price is yet on that. But I paid $2.99. I do have a little collection of these myself. I always have a collection of something. I do have a collection of these, and so I was like, at the very least, I can keep it. but I'll probably try to list it first. I don't know that that means anything to anybody. I'm just sure that bunches of these were sold where the sticker was missing, and so people just didn't know, you know, what name to put on it. So, but I think the glaze is interesting enough, and the pinch part of it, that I think I will try to list it. Then, okay, this is another thing I took. This is more of a personal type thing. I got this from my husband's grandmother, right? So she had a fall recently. This is part of the reason for kind of the remodel and the what do you call it? Repair on part of her place. So she's just kind of, while we were there, confined to her recliner most of the day. And so when people come to visit, she had collected up some stuff that she was letting go. And so when people would come to visit, she would, you know, give them a brooch, or she'd give them a teacup or something like that. So in her little pile, I was like, oh, can I take one? She's like, of course. But there was this little perfume bottle, and I don't know where she got it or anything like that, but I just thought that was really, really cute. And, you know, I got this for me. But this, when I Google lensed it, I believe it's Egyptian. Okay, so there's lots of other examples of this style, and I think Egyptian is what sticks in my head. So that kind of surprised me. But anyway, I learned something. Now I know what I'm looking at. Speaking of purple glass, I forgot about this little guy. This little guy I found at a thrift store. And I think I took the sticker off already, but it was like $1 or $2 or something like that. Isn't he cute? I think it's that same type of neodymium, whatever, glass. And it's made in Sweden, maybe. It's Konst, Konst. I think some of those words are not in English, but anyway, it had a little sticker, and comps are like in that $25 range. I just think super adorable. I don't know what it is with me and purple glass lately. Okay. Okay. And I am going to end, I think, my little container here. No, I do have one more thing to show you, but I'm gonna have to pause the video and go get it and then come back. But this is like a favorite. I was so excited. And we were at a Goodwill, and it had so many coffee mugs, and I was like, some of them were so good. We just didn't have space. You know, we were at the end of our trip, and I was like, oh, if we were closer, I probably would have ended up with more coffee mugs. But anyway, I couldn't believe I recognized this handle right away when I saw it. And I haven't found this maker in a long, long time. But anyway, the maker is Edith Heath, Heath, and the mark is kind of hard to see, but it says Heath on the bottom up here, like the TH kind of comes far down. I think it just says made in the USA. But Heath Ceramics, still in business. Super popular on Etsy. I've had some good finds over the years. Edith Heath was the original potter, ceramicist. But yeah, the business is still going, and I haven't found, I think this is sandalwood, this particular color and glaze. So it might just be $25 or something like that. I think I've sold a couple together in the past, but we're talking years and years and years ago. So I have not found any Heath while I've lived here in Montana. So that was just kind of a fun rundown memory lane. We'll pop that on Etsy. But I'm going to pause the video. I have to go grab the one last thing that I want to share with you. Okay, so do you guys remember my video about what I wanted to find at thrift stores this summer? And we talked about the little wooden shelves with heart cutouts, or things in general with heart cutouts. And so I had found a few of those pieces already, the stairs, step kind of things. And anyway, I've shared that with you. But I was at a Value Village and I saw this. And so I said to Mr. Pish Posh, do we want to bring this home? He's like, whatever you want to do, I'll make it work. Okay, so I decided to go ahead and get it. It was $7.99. And it's this cute little heart shelf. And I think just totally, I think just handmade. Like, I don't think this was at a store or anything like that, but you know, maybe somebody made it for like a little market or things. But it's got pegs, it's got the heart cut out, it's got a little shelf. And anyway, it's got a place to hang it on the back. It's pretty heavy duty. But anyway, I just thought that fit into that video so well. So we're gonna shoot for it while the cottage core, grandma core, whatever core thing is still going, we're gonna do it, okay? So I gotta get that listed soon. I wanted to get this video done sooner because I wanted to get started listing, especially some of these really fun things. But I didn't wanna list it before I got a chance to show all you guys the stuff that I found. So I can get started working on this. I'll also, like I said, make that video for the flatware and the utensils. I should be able to get that one out by Flatware Friday. And I'm gonna get this one edited and everything today. So busy. There's always stuff to do. And leave me a comment. How has your thrifting been going? Let me know anything you want to say about any of the things that I showed you that I found, whether you would have picked them up or not, or things like that. So I will hopefully also have a what sold video for you somewhere in there as well. I'm trying to be able to stay on top of those too. So I will talk to you soon.